Would you like to make this winter beanie with me? The brim is optional and pom-pom is optional. What you will need is 5.3 ounces of bulky yarn and 9mm hook. In this part, I will show you how to make star stitch brim to the simple double crochet stitch winter beanie. If you're not familiar how to do this part, please see my other two videos. There is part 1 and 2, how to complete this part of the head. So let's get started. Our beanie is completed, but you still have this leftover yarn and you're not sure what to use for. You can add additional nice flipped brim. And I want to show you today how to make this flip brim with star stitch. First, I have to identify which of the side is the right and wrong side. I want to keep this as my right side. Because this will be flipped brim, I want the pretty side, I will call it, be on the right side. Therefore, I have to work on the left side. So I will flip my beanie, and that's my wrong side. Let's make slip knot and let's connect anywhere and use slip stitch. Now what I will do, I will slip stitch one row all around. That will give me cleaner look on the bottom. And that slip stitch has 2 loops. So when I start my star stitch, I will go again in between those 2 loops, which will be working like in the back loop. So let's do the slip stitches all around. With any project, when you're making slip stitch, make sure that the stitch, the slip stitch, is exactly the size of the other stitches, because when you work in slip stitches, they have tendency to be a little bit tighter. When I go to my ridge, I actually will make this hole a little bit smaller, so I will pick up these 2 loops and make a slip stitch. And again, I go right here and slip stitch. So I will do this all around. I stop in half and I want to show the difference. This is the side without slip stitches and this is the side with the slip stitches. Another thing, this is the perfect time to, if this head is too loose for you, to reduce some stitches and make this a little bit more snug. And once you complete this row, please put your head on and make sure that stitches are not too tight. I am in the end. I completed all my slip stitches. You can see the head looks really nice. Before I connected this stitch, I made sure that this head it's fitting perfectly, nothing is too tight, and now I just slip stitch to the first stitch. So starting now, this is our point where we flip this beanie. That's why I like to do this slip stitch first, because it gives you a nice edge. We will be using, again, kind of like back post, but technically we will be going between the slip stitch. So let's start the star stitch. You will chain 3, and then you put your hook back to the second loop from your hook and pull yarn through. Now you should have 2 loops. go to the next stitch and do exactly the same. You have 3 loops. Now go to your first stitch in your last row and do the same thing. You just pull yarn through. I have 4 loops. One more time and one more time. So you should have 6 loops on your hook, and now you pull yarn through all 6 and you close that stitch. And that's the half of your star stitch. The second part will come in the row 2. So now we do not need to have stitches here because we will incorporate stitches from this first stitch. So from now on all the way to the end, you will place your hook in the middle of the star, pull yarn through, then you go to the next stitch, pull yarn through to the next. So we did like we have 3 stitches here. We did exactly the same thing, only incorporating this first stitch. And now we have only 4 loops, so we need 2 more. And that's what you will do right here. You have 6, pull yarn through all these loops, and slip stitch to close that stitch. And again, you want to go 1, that's your second one right here, and you start this from the right side. 2, 3, and then we need 2 more, which we go to the back loop of our slip stitches. And I have 6, and I'm closing this. And that's how it looks like. Half of the star, the second portion will be row number 2, and then I want to make 2 rows of stars, so I will be making 4 rows here, and then I will flip this to the right side and I will have nice brim. Please continue doing the same stitch all the way to the end of this row. I have last star stitch to make in this row, so I will still count 6. That's my 6 loops, and I will close the same way. And now I just slip stitch to this first stitch, but not to this one, not to this loop, but actually to this stitch itself. I want this to be tight. Okay, let me show you why I chose this first row. You see how beautifully you have those ridges of your slip stitch? If you will not do that, of course it's your choice, you can skip that part and just start your star stitch right away. I just feel this looks much nicer than when I flipped my hat to the right side. That's how I will be wearing. This will be hidden because my brim will be flipped, and I have this nice edge here.